Let's talk about something most people won't say out loud. A man's sexual desire is not just about how you look. It's not about having perfect curves, flawless skin, or knowing how to pose seductively on Instagram. Because while attraction might start in the eyes, what makes a man crave you, what makes him feel drawn to you on a gut level, is energy. Here's the secret. No one teaches you. A man can sleep with a woman and forget her the next day, or he can make love to a woman once and never stop thinking about her. It's not the lingerie there. It's not the technique. It's how she makes him feel in her presence. It's the way she moves, the way she responds, the way she owns herself. That's what sticks in his memory. That's what separates someone he desires for a night from someone he craves again and again, with increasing intensity. Because here's what most women don't realize: their men are not aroused by neediness. They're not turned on by someone trying to earn their desire. They're turned on by a woman who radiates it, who isn't afraid to be seen, felt, heard. They're a woman who knows she's a force, who walks into a room and doesn't ask for permission to be wanted. She just is. And that energy, it's not born from trying harder. It's born from knowing your worth, from understanding the little things that awaken his instincts, not just his eyes. So if you're ready to be the woman he doesn't just sleep with, but the one he obsesses over, let's dive into the 6 that truly arouse a man's sexual desire for you, starting from the inside out. Your confidence in your body, even if it's not perfect. This one right here is the game changer. Because contrary to what the world wants you to believe, sexual attraction isn't about having the most ideal body. It's about the energy you carry inside that body. It's the way you walk into a room and own your space. They're the way you move with ease, the way you touch a neck or smile slowly like you enjoy being in your own skin. That's what lights a man up. Most women fall into the trap of thinking they have to fix something about themselves to be desirable. Bigger this, smaller that, straighter, smaller, tighter, taller, you name it. The truth is, there are women with every kind of body who have men completely captivated by them. And do you know why? Because they radiate comfort with themselves. They don't shrink. They don't apologize. They don't try to hide. They show up. Men don't need you to be perfect. In fact, perfection can be intimidating or boring. What turns a man on is when you relax into your own body, when you make eye contact and don't look away, when you let your laugh spill out without adjusting your shirt. Realize that there, when you stretch in front of him without sucking in your stomach, when you touch him like you already know you're desired, that's when a man thinks, God, she's sexy. You see, confidence is contagious when you're turned on by yourself, when you enjoy how your skin feels, your hips sway, how your voice sounds. It signals to him that he should be turned on too. Realize that it gives him permission to indulge in you because you're already indulging in yourself. And it's not about faking confidence or trying to be something you're not. It's about making peace with who you are and bringing your whole self to the moment. It's about saying with your energy, this is me. I'm not here to earn you. I'm here to enjoy you there because I already know I'm enough. The woman who walks into the bedroom with that kind of energy is unforgettable. She doesn't have to try hard. She doesn't have to perform there. Her presence is already electric because she's not just offering her body, she's offering permission to see her, to feel her, to connect without judgment or fear there. So don't wait until you feel flawless. Start now with the body you have, the skin you're in, the energy that's already alive in you. Arouse yourself with your own presence. Then let him witness that. That's what becomes addictive to a man. That's what makes you the one he keeps coming back to, because you remind him what real, unfiltered, feminine desire looks like there. And that is sexy. The way you make him feel desired without desperation. Here's the truth. No one tells you men want to be desired. They crave it. They may not say it out loud. Every man secretly wants to feel like you see him, not just as a friend, not just as a guy with a nice smile, but as someone who ignites something in you. Most women think they're supposed to sit back and wait for the man to do all the pursuing, to flirt, to initiate, to lead. And while masculine energy does love to chase, do you know what really makes a man go crazy? A woman who shows that she wants him too, but doesn't need to possess him to validate herself. It's the difference between desire and desperation. There, desire says, I see you, I want you, I'm enjoying this moment. Desperation says, I need to want me back or else I don't feel worthy. One is magnetic, the other is repelling. When you look at a man with that slow, cheeky smile at when your eyes scan him like you're undressing with your mind, when you brush past him just slightly and say that there, you drive me a little crazy, you know that. You're showing desire, and that's electric. It shows you're in your body. It shows you're tuned into him. It tells him that he's not just chasing a prize, he's being chosen back. And yet you're not chasing, you're not clinging, you're not waiting by the phone or asking if he likes you back. You're rooted in your own energy. You can flirt, tease, lean in close, and still walk away at any moment because your value doesn't depend on his reaction. That's the feminine art of seductive confidence. Men are so used to being admired for their accomplishments, their money, their strength. But when a woman makes a man feel wanted as a man, not just for what he can do, but for who he is in the moment, that's rare, that sticks, that awakens a part of him that needs to feel masculine. You become the woman who reflects back his rawness, his depth, his fire, without begging for anything in return. So flirt boldly, compliment him sincerely, touch his arm when you talk, let your eyes linger. Let your energy rise. Realize that they're not because you need him to choose you, but because you're choosing the moment and you're inviting him in with no pressure, just presence. That's how you make a man want you deeply. When you show him that he's desired, not you're empty, because you're already full and you're letting him taste the overflow. Emotional safety with a seductive edge. This is one of the biggest turn-ons for a man and one of the most misunderstood. Because when women hear emotional safety, they often assume it means being soft, gentle, and nurturing like his therapist or caretaker. And while emotional warmth is part of it, that's not what arouses him on a primal level. What actually ignites desire is when you create a space where he can let go of control. Not just physically, but emotionally, a space where he can express his dominant side and his tenderness without being judged, where he feels free to be intense, messy, playful, realize there, or even wild without worrying about being too much. When a man feels safe enough to show his raw, realize that they're masculine instincts and knows you won't flinch or retreat, that's when he starts craving you on a whole different level. Because most men live in a world where they have to hold back. Be careful, be composed, be good. So when he's with a woman who gives off the subtle signal, you're allowed to be all of you hearing, it lights up a deeply suppressed part of him. He doesn't want to feel tamed. He wants to feel seen. And when you respond to his masculine energy with both openness and boundaries, you create a perfect polarity. You're safe to be around, but you're also not afraid of his fire. And here's where the seductive edge comes in. Emotional safety without attraction is friendship, but emotional safety with sensual tension. That's desire. That's what keeps him coming back for more. It's when you say, I love when you take control like that, while holding your own eye contact. It's when you say, as there, I trust you, with a playful smirk that tells him you also know your own power. It's not submissive. It's not passive. It's emotionally secure. Realize that there, in that contrast, your softness wrapped in strength makes him feel like he can finally exhale and be himself. Think of it this way. Most when they either lead with seduction and hide their heart, or lead with emotion and forget to flirt. But when you can do both, when you can make him feel wanted and emotionally seen, you become unforgettable. You're not the woman he just has sex with. You're the woman who makes him feel safe to desire you fully, without masks, without games. So don't be afraid to hold space for his emotions. Don't be afraid to ask real questions. But do with play, with warmth, with feminine charm. Let him feel like he can open up and still be turned on. Because when a man feels that rare combination, freedom and fire, their depth and then desire, he doesn't just want your body, he wants all of you. Your ability to flirt without saying a word. This is the secret language of seduction that most women don't even realize they're fluent in until they stop overthinking and start feeling. Because here's the truth, flirting isn't about what you say, it's about what you signal. It's in the way you look at him just a little too long. The pause before you break eye contact. The way you walk away knowing full well that he's watching you and not rushing to fill the silence. This is the power of non-verbal flirting. It's primal. It's magnetic. It awakens something in a man that words alone can't touch, because it bypasses his mind and goes straight to instinct. Men are visual creatures, yes, but more than that, they're responsive creatures, and what they're responding to isn't just a pretty face. It's energy. It's the slight lift of your eyebrow when he makes a cheeky joke. It's the smirk that says, I'm enjoying this, but I'm not giving you everything just yet. It's the way your body relaxes in his presence, how your shoulders soften when he leans in, how you let a small pause hang in the air just long enough for him to wonder, is she thinking what I'm thinking? That's what creates tension. Not trying too hard, not give him a full performance, but letting your presence tease him, invite him, draw him closer without saying a single word. And here's what most women get wrong. They try to impress with conversation, to be clever, sexy, quick, engaging. And while communication matters, what a man often remembers most is the moment, not the message. The feel of you. Realize that they're not just the facts, it's how his skin tingled when you brushed past him, the heat that rose when your eyes met his across the room and you didn't look away. They're the subtle smirk you gave when he caught you watching him. You don't need lines, you need presence, you don't need scripts, you need awareness. Flirting without words is about trusting your femininity enough to play in the silence, to let him feel you, not because you're performing, but because you're open. There, you're letting your curiosity, your pleasure, your self-worth speak louder than anything you could say. And it's not about manipulation. It's about invitation. You're not trying to trick him. You're showing him what's possible. You're saying, I'm here, I'm feeling this, and I'm not in a rush. That mystery there, that moment of what is she thinking? That's what drives him wild. So next time you're around a man you're drawn to, don't rush to speak. Let the air breathe. Hold the eye contact. Let your body say what your mouth doesn't have to. Because when you master the art of flirting without words, you stop trying to get his attention and start commanding it. Their passion for something outside of him. If there's one thing that arouses a man on a level he can't even explain, it's witnessing a woman in her element. A woman who lights up, not just for him, but for herself. She's not waiting around for a man to bring her joy. She's already lit from within, already connected to something that fuels her. And that fire, that passion, it's magnetic. You see, most people think attraction is about how much attention you give a man. But the truth is, what makes a man want you more is watching you be completely absorbed in something that has nothing to do with him. It could be your love for dancing, writing, traveling, cooking, creating, learning, helping others, anything that makes your eyes glow and your voice come alive. That's what draws him in, because in that moment, you are untouchable. You are free. They realize that there, and nothing is more attractive to a man than a woman who doesn't need him to complete her because she's already whole. It makes him want to be part of your world, not because you begged him in, but because he sees that you already have something rich and beautiful going on, and he wants a front row seat. That's what makes a woman unforgettable. She's not trying to orbit around a man's life. She has her own sun, her own gravitational pull. And if he's lucky, he gets pulled into her universe. Now, here's where the arousal part comes in. When you talk something you're passionate about, it awakens your feminine energy. It puts you in your flow. Your eyes light up, your hands move, your voice softens or speeds up. You become animated. And that energy, the alive energy, is incredibly arousing to a man. He may not even fully understand why, but something in him steers there because you've stopped performing. You're just being. You're in love with life. And that makes him want to be in love with you. Most women think they have to chase a mansion to keep him interested. But the woman who keeps her own flame burning, regardless of whether he's watching or not, she becomes mysterious. She becomes the woman he wants to know more about, the one he admires, respects, craves, because there's something about her he can't control, and that to a man is pure fire. So don't lose yourself trying to make a man your whole world. Be the woman who has a world of her own. Let him see your passion. Talk about what drives you. Glow when you speak about your dreams there. And don't be afraid to go off into your own little zone while he watches. Because a woman who is alive within herself, she doesn't just turn him on, she pulls him in. Mind, body, and soul. The contrast of your softness and strength. There is nothing more arousing to a man, nothing more unforgettable than a woman who holds both tenderness and power in the same breath. A woman who can look at him with kind, open eyes and yet still walk away the moment he disrespects her boundaries. That duality, it messes with his mind in the best way, because it says, there, you may touch me, but only if I allow it. You may have access to me, but only if you've earned it. Most women lean too far into one or the other. Some are all softness, they're nurturing, sweet giving, but they lose themselves. They say yes when they mean no. They overextend, hoping to be chosen. Others lean hard into strength. They're guarded, independent, unshakable. but they forget to let love in. They don't allow their sensuality, their sweetness, their receiving energy to flow. But the woman who holds both, she's magnetic. She's the woman who can be vulnerable and boundaried. She can surrender to the moment, but still know her worth. There, she can moan in your ear one moment and calmly say, that doesn't work for me. The next, with zero apology in her voice, that kind of woman drives a man wild. Because she doesn't play by his rules, she's not easily controlled. She knows her value and she brings it to every room she walks into. It's in the way she flirts. Playful, they're mysterious, but never needy. It's in the way she lets herself be touched, not because she's craving validation, but because she's allowing pleasure. It's in the way she says no without coldness and without fear. She's the woman who, when she cries, owns her emotion. And when she laughs, you feel it deep in your chest. She's fully alive and she's not waiting for anyone to make her feel that way. And men, they don't just notice this contrast, they feel it. They lean in closer, they chase longer because she keeps them on their toes. Not with games, but with truth. She's soft enough to make him feel trusted, but strong enough to walk away if the connection isn't real. That creates deep, lasting sexual polarity. He feels like a man in her presence, not because she submits, but because she lets him lead sometimes while staying fully rooted in her own center. She doesn't shrink. She doesn't beg, she invites. And that invitation feels earned, not handed out. So if you want to arouse a man at the deepest level, don't just show up in one mode. Show your fire and your grace. Be the storm and the calm.
Let your eyes say, I want you.
While your standards say, I choose who gets to stay. Because that's not just sexy. Realize that's sovereign. And the man who meets you in that space, he won't just desire you. He'll respect you. He'll crave you. And he'll remember you. Because women like you don't just happen. They own themselves, and that, to a real man, is the ultimate turn on. So let's come back to truth there. The truth that every high-value woman needs to remember a man's deepest sexual desire isn't just about your body. It's about your energy. Realize that there. It's not about trying to look perfect or saying all the right things. It's about the feeling you create when you're unapologetically yourself. When you walk in your sensuality there, when you flirt from a place of joy, not insecurity, when you let him feel you, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, energetically. They think about it, he's drawn to the woman who owns her body, not because it's flawless, but because she knows it's hers to celebrate. He's turned on by the woman who can say, I want you, without handing over her dignity. He craves the woman who makes him safe enough to be fully seen and bold enough to explore the fire between you. He's mesmerized by the one who doesn't need to speak to make him notice her. He's drawn into the woman who has a life, a pulse, a passion that lights her up. And he's addicted to the one who moves like both a storm and a sanctuary, strong, soft, seductive, sovereign. This is what makes you unforgettable, not effort, not performance, but presence. So here's your call to action. Stop asking, what do I need to do to make him want me? And start asking, how can I express more of who I already am? Be bold enough to show your desire. Be soft enough to receive his. Be secure enough to walk away from anything less than deep mutual attraction. Because once you stop chasing, desire it, and start embodying it, he doesn't want to sleep with you. He wants to stay with you. He wants to choose you, and he wants to keep craving you. If this message resonated with you, let's keep this conversation going. Drop a comment below. What's one thing you're going to embody more starting today? Realize that, hit that like button if you're done shrinking yourself to fit what you think men want. There. And make sure you subscribe for more videos that don't just teach you how to attract a man, but how to captivate him, challenge him, and connect with him on every level. Because when you show up as your full, powerful, feminine self, you don't just get his attention. You arouse his devotion